All right. This is our last leg of our 2 week trip around the world. We are leaving New Zealand, heading to Sydney. This is the international side of the New Zealand airport. Pretty nice. It had a lot of different food spots, this art installation. I got some breakfast while we waited for our flight. Took some nice pictures and video of the sunrise, and then we were off. So it's about a 3 hour flight from New Zealand to Sydney. Keep in mind there's also a time difference. It's going to feel like a very long day by time by the time you in your day. At least that's how it felt for us. So then we got to Sydney, and right away started seeing wildlife. And I've heard stories about the wildlife in Sydney, so I was like a little cautious of like what we would find. But that bird was just chilling. It didn't bother anybody. And we are off to the Airbnb. I will say that I felt like the security at the Sydney, Australia was a lot more lax than the New Zealand. Like it didn't take us long to get through customs, like at all, like maybe 30 minutes. And this is our Airbnb. Now, this was my favorite place that we stayed at just because this was a lot more modern. The other place, if you saw the other videos, that place looked like it had a lot of space, but it wasn't updated the way this was. So, like, bathrooms like this, like that, that's my style. I like the clean aesthetic of everything. So this is the bathroom that I was sharing with the two girls who stayed in this room. And we had this nice balcony. This place was nice, but we didn't actually stay here all that long. We're only in Sydney for like 2 days, and then we leave the morning of the third day. So we didn't have a lot of time to utilize the space here. And then this is my room. Pretty small, but at least I have a room to myself. And then also on this floor, there's a bedroom in here. That's where the couple slept. And then there was also another bathroom, a full bathroom up here. This place, it felt like it was in an apartment complex, but our place felt more like a townhome because it had an upstairs and then a downstairs. And downstairs, we have a living area space. We had this outdoor patio, again, like a much bigger patio. We didn't get to sit out there either, so I would love to go back and have a lot more time here. But yeah, we had a living room, we had this kitchen area, and in the back there is another bedroom and then another full bathroom. So yeah, I'm not sure how this apartment complex is set up. I'm like, are they actual apartments, or does every place here have like this townhome set up? I'd be interested to find out. But after that, it was like 12:30, so we went and got brunch at this place that was in walking distance of our Airbnb. Everyone got like nice drinks. These were like smoothies or juices. I also got a cookie because I like macadamia nut cookies, so I got that. And then I also got pancakes. Ah, these were so good. It was so good. From there, we Ubered into the city and we are going to an art museum. Now, as we're walking around, I noticed that it was hotter here than it was in Sydney. Like Sydney felt warm because it was summertime. Like it was warm. Sorry, New Zealand felt warm because it was summertime. Sydney felt warm but humid at the same time. So keep that in mind. But yeah, this is the Museum of Contemporary Art. It's pretty cool. It had a lot of exhibits that I can't show on YouTube though, because they were pretty like mature content to the point where me and my friends were like, "What is this?" But yeah, it was pretty cool. So we got to see the work of a lot of different local artists. People were talking there, just explaining like the cultural significance of that piece. And if you're not into art, I still suggest going to this museum because at the top floor, there's this outdoor area where you get to see fantastic views of the bridge and the opera house. So we stayed up here for a while, just like taking pictures, and then me taking like all these videos of everything. So again, even if you're not into artwork, I think it's worth doing it just for this view alone. And then from there, we were walking to the actual area where the opera house is. It's kind of like one big U shape that you can just walk around from the museum to the opera house. Like the museum is on the other side of that water, basically. And then along the side of the opera house is just a whole bunch of like gift shops. So it's a nice area to just sightsee, basically. And there's also within walking distance this botanical garden. So that's where we went after seeing the opera house. And by the way, we did not go inside the opera house. We just stood outside and took pictures. And we ended our day with dinner at this restaurant inside a hotel. We were all very tired by this point. We got ourselves some drinks, some alcoholic and some non-alcoholic. We got ourselves some drinks, and then I got me some oysters. That's the guy who was shucking my oysters. And it was funny because when they delivered it to the table, they were like, oh, should I put it in the middle? And I was like, no, they're for me. They're for me. My friends know. They know how much I like oysters. And now it's a brand new day, our only like full day in Sydney. So we went to another place within walking distance. I got this fantastic breakfast burrito or wrap, whatever you want to call it. It was so good. And we took the subway back to the area that we were in yesterday. Now in America, are there any subways that have like 2 levels? Because I haven't seen them before. But I thought it was a pretty cool concept. So like I said, we are back at the same place that we were yesterday with the bridge and the opera house. And this time we are taking a ferry and, oh, that's a Hungry Jack's, which I think is the same thing as a Burger King. But I thought that was cool, so I wanted to include that. But yes, we are on our way to the zoo. So a little story time. So the area that we're in, do you see that sign? How do you think you pronounce that? Because my friends, we thought it was Circular Quay. So we're like, all day we're like, yeah, we gotta head to Circular Quay. And then we heard an announcement on the subway and they were like, Circular Quay, get off at Circular Quay. And we were like, oh my goodness, we've been saying it wrong this whole time. We felt like such tourists. Anyway, we are now at the area where the zoo is. It's by this beautiful beach. So we'll go there in a second. But here is the zoo.
Abel's currently weighing in at a very healthy 75 kilos. He's got no problems being able to support his entire body weight through those very powerful front flippers. You want to show everyone?
Diego here is a California sea lion, which makes him a native to the west coast of the United States, ranging from San Francisco all the way down to Baja, Mexico. Now, on the count of 3, I need everyone to say, jump Diego, in their loudest voices. You reckon you can help me out? Yeah. All right. 1, 1, 2, 3.
Jump, Diego!
Didn't move a muscle. I thought you guys did a great job though, but how about we ask Diego? Buddy, was that loud enough for you? Yeah. That's a no. That's completely fine. I think we just need some more energy today. So how about we try it one more time in our loudest voices. Jump, Diego. 1, 2, 3.
Jump, Diego! Say goodbye to our sea lion friends. These are chickens, but have you ever seen chickens with an afro? I've never seen it before. I would say that this is like one of the most interactive zoos that I've ever been in because animals are just walking around. Like they're just walking around. And I felt like unless the animals were dangerous or if there was a possibility of us like, I don't know, messing with the animals, then they were in enclosures. But if not, they were just walking around. You'll see in a later clip, like kangaroos were walking around. These really big birds were walking around. Although I think not all of them. Oh! You can't make noises like that. You cannot make noises like that. I'm sorry. All right. Look at those legs. I know. He knows how to command attention. As you can see, I got out of the way because that bird was about as tall as me, and no, I was not trying to get that close to it. I was very happy that this zoo had tigers. Tigers are my favorite animals, and I feel like a lot of times when you go to zoos, the big cats are there, but like they're hiding somewhere. They're like hidden in the shade. So I was so happy that I could see them. This tiger right here, he was sitting on top of like a car, and he was right by the window, so I could get so close to him. Is he not beautiful? Oh. I don't know what that animal is. I think there was a sign there, but I don't remember, and I don't know what type of animal that was. After the zoo, we went and walked, kind of hiked because you have to go through the woods. But we went to this beautiful beach, and we were there not too long, like maybe 30 minutes. We just sat by the water. I got close to the water just to get my feet wet, pretty much. I can't swim, so I was not trying to get in the water. But it felt really good, and it was beautiful. So after the beach, we went back to the Airbnb, refreshed, and then we went out for our last dinner. We chose to do like a more fancier dinner for that last night. So we're in some like really nice area that also has a sky tower. So you may not be able to see it, but at the very top, there's a building that has that circle. That is where we're going. So that is the Sydney Tower. Once you get up to the top, it's just one big circle, and there's these tables by the windows. We got a table right by the window, so we had a great view of the city. But while you're up there, it rotates. So it goes in a complete circle every hour. So it's rotating very slowly. And then it has an open buffet with all this different type of food, and you can eat as much as you want. It's all you can eat buffet. And I definitely took advantage of that. If I'd been by myself, I probably wouldn't have done this because this was by far the most expensive meal that we had. It was like $90, and it had the all-you-can-eat buffet, and it also came with one alcoholic drink. So since it was so expensive, I was like, I'm gonna make the most of this. And even though there were all these different types of food, I mainly ate seafood. As you can see, there's some prawn and mussels. I got sushi, and then more oysters. My friends are making fun of me because every time I got up, I came back with another plate of oysters. But yeah, I probably had like 3 dozen. Probably so. They were small, if that helps. But yeah, I probably did 3 dozen by myself. But I would suggest this if you can afford it. It was really nice views. I bet it would be really nice if you went like around sunset. It was already nighttime by the time we got there. But at sunset, I'm sure it would be beautiful. And I think we were like one of the last people to leave because I think we had the last time slot. We were there for an hour or an hour and a half, one of those. And then we left and went back to the Airbnb, and that was pretty much our trip because the next morning we had another early morning flight because it was, forget what time we left, but it was a 15-and-a-half-hour flight. And we then had another layover when we got to America. We had a layover to our home destination. So we were quite tired when we got back, but I had an amazing time, and I'm so glad that I went. And I hope y'all have enjoyed this series of travel. I'll see you next time. Bye.